If you've been off the grid for a bit, I've got some bad news. Things are different in the NBA. Teams we thought were done, well, they're making a comeback, and teams we thought that were legit are collapsing. But one team just made a move that might have changed everything. But here's the real question. Who's for real and who's about to fall apart? The Detroit Pistons get our attention first, and a year ago, the Pistons weren't just bad, they were historically bad. They didn't just lose games, they lost 28 straight games. 28 straight losses. 28. You could have taken a month-long vacation, come back, and they still wouldn't have won a game, and now they have dominated the defending champs, sit in the East 6th seed, and look like an actual playoff threat. So how did we get from that to this? Well, a new coach who actually wanted to be here definitely helped, but the biggest reason? They have a dude. Cade Cunningham isn't just playing well, he's playing like the franchise superstar Detroit desperately needed. Right now, only 2 players in the NBA are averaging 25 points and 9 assists per game. One of them is Nikola Jokic, who is in the running for his 4th MVP. The other is Cade Cunningham, who is in the running for a first All-NBA selection. And it's not just about the numbers, it's how he's getting them. More space to work with means that he's picking defenses apart, and more shooters around him mean that his assist numbers are skyrocketing. Teams going under screens are a bad idea because his pull-up jumper is a weapon now, hitting career highs from mid-range and 3. But here's the scary part. He's still not even at his peak. Efficiency is still improving and his defense is getting better. The gap between him and Luka Doncic at a similar stage, that's shrinking. A year ago,
in the 2021 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State University.
People wondered if Cade would ever fully realize his potential, but now he's not just realizing it, he's showing it night in and night out. And if Detroit keeps climbing, we might be talking about him as one of the best guards in the East sooner than expected. That's what happens when a team builds the right way. They get their guy, they put the pieces right around him, and let things develop. But not every team has that luxury. Some teams don't have time to build. They have to fix things and fast. Just ask Golden State. Not too long ago, the Warriors looked like a team that needed to be put out of its misery. They were fighting for a play-in spot, relying on Steph Curry for everything and showing flashes of being great for about 5 minutes a game. Then, they made a move. They traded for Jimmy Butler, and overnight, everything changed.
They just believe not only did they need an infusion of talent and a co-star for Steph Curry, but they kind of got the perfect style of player next to Steph Curry.
Since Butler joined, the Warriors are 16-4, climbing from play-in purgatory to 6th in the West with real momentum, and by the time you're watching this, that record is probably even better. But it's not just about winning, it's about how they're winning. Offense went from 19th to 5th, defense went from 10th to 3rd, but let's talk about the real difference, the free throws. Before Jimmy, the Warriors avoided the free throw line like it was a haunted house, but now they're leading the league in free throws made. On top of that, they're getting their classic Warriors flow back. Jimmy's not just scoring, he's connecting. Since the trade, the Warriors have gone from 9th in assists to 1st. Butler is setting up shooters, giving Curry some much needed rest, and defensively, well, teams are turning the ball over nearly 4 times more per game against Golden State than before. Teams are struggling to rebound like never before, and they're probably having trouble sleeping after games. But here's why other teams should be worried. We have already seen what happens when you put Jimmy Butler in a playoff setting.
I think the idea that he's like the exact opposite player of me, which is kind of funny.
This man dragged an 8 seed to the finals twice, and now he's playing with Steph Curry. A team that was once just fun might now be a real problem. The only question left, what happens when playoff Jimmy finally shows up? But while the Warriors are trying to go on a playoff run, another team is just trying to make it out of this season in one piece, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. At this point, the Sixers season isn't about making the playoffs, it's about survival, and survival means keeping their first round draft pick. Because here's the nightmare scenario. If their pick falls outside the top 6, it goes straight to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The same OKC that already has a borderline dynasty forming and a GM who hoards draft picks like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones. And right now, the Sixers are dangerously close to handing them another one. If Philly finishes with the 5th worst record, they have a 63.9% chance of keeping their pick. 6th worst? Well, that drops to 45.8%, and then if they drop to 7th worst record, it's just 31.9%. So unless the Sixers plan on going undefeated for the rest of the season, which, come on, the smart move is to just shut down, and they're doing that now. Embiid is shut down, Paul George, same thing. Next will be Tyrese Maxey. Maybe they even need to shut down Quentin Grimes the way he's balling out. Because if they land in the top 6, they can either draft a legit young talent to pair with Embiid, George, and Maxey, or they can use the pick in a trade to land another star. Either way, they need to do everything in their power to keep that pick, because the last thing Philly wants is to spend this whole season struggling just to hand OKC another future All-Star. That's what's on the line for the Sixers. A single draft pick could change their entire future. But what if a single player didn't just change a team, but completely change the way basketball is played? That's exactly what happened in one unforgettable NCAA tournament run. A player was so dominant, so ahead of his time, that he forced the game to evolve. Who was it, and how does his impact still shape today's NBA? Well, click here to find out, and if you're enjoying the content, make sure to like and subscribe. This is a new channel, and your support makes all the difference. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.